had the wonderful opportunity to go to Adobe MAX this year. To quote a coworker of mine, Adobe MAX is kind of like the Lollapalooza of corporate conferences. Adobe MAX is from Adobe, who creates Adobe products like Photoshop or Illustrator. The conference itself is set up kind of like how Apple does their announcements for new products or new software. They very much capture the wide-eyed dreams and aspirations of designers, creatives, videographers, motion designers. This is my second year going to Adobe MAX. Last year was in LA, then it was in Miami, and I mean, Miami, come on.
Largest MAX ever. And so I want to thank everyone joining us here in person and the hundreds of thousands of people around the world who are tuning in online. It's inspiring to be in Miami Beach, surrounded by its rich artistic culture as well as creative community.
Miami is just so picturesque, it makes me upset. I just had a wonderful opportunity going around and taking a point and shoot camera and also my SLR camera around Adobe MAX. And I felt it was a cool juxtaposition between going to this hyper digital AI infused corporate conference and bring the polar opposite of that and just bring a couple of film cameras and just shoot all over the place. I went through about like 4 rolls of film and I got to shoot a little bit outside of the conference. Like I got to walk around Miami a little bit, and every opportunity that I got to shoot in Miami felt like it just was like I didn't have enough film. Let me backtrack.
This piece of art right here, believe it or not, was created using AI, or artificial intelligence.
Well, the Screen Actors Guild standing behind Scarlett Johansson after she threatened to sue OpenAI for using a voice that sounds eerily similar to hers.
But alongside its potential to broaden the creative palette, AI could also have some negative consequences for the creative industries.
What this means is that we can now create images without having to actually execute them with paint or cameras or pen tools or code. The input is just a simple line of text.
I think these industries, if you allow AI companies without payment or permission to build a highly scalable competitor that's much cheaper and quicker to use, it's clear that a lot of these industries are going to be totally gutted.
Say what you want about AI, it's not leaving. It's here to stay, and we have to embrace it. I like Adobe's approach on talking about how AI is meant to be a tool that is supposed to empower us rather than take away our rights as designers. What they do with that, we will see. But there were so many examples of how I felt like that philosophy came through. The most important of which was there was this agency, I think they were called Vertical. This agency gave real world examples about how to speed up the process instead of going out and having to shoot everything themselves and figure out how to do the motion animation and all that kind of stuff. They basically ran it through a prompt.
AI for us, it needs to be production ready. It needs to work, to deliver work for our clients.
There was this company, kind of like a White Claw competitor, and they were talking about how they had 7 different flavors, and they had all of these visuals that they wanted to parallel with these flavors.
So we were playing with like stop motion on the left. We were playing like, you can see frame 4 and 5 with like, we're like, hey, add a little bit more water on the apple, it starts getting wild. Like frame 7, like a corporate handshake comes out of nowhere.
And a lot of it was talking about how they were able to mock everything up and run it through a video prompt and then compile those videos together to create one seamless animation.
We brought this into Photoshop, just made some stills, built a 1920 by 8000 comp, and just went in there and just started generating things as fast as we could to fill that in. We weren't being very precious with this. We didn't need to be. Because when we bring this into After Effects, like the speed at which we're going to move from one video to the other, motion blur, all of that, it's not really going to matter. And if we did need more detail, we'd go back in there. So you can see here on the left the actual comp that we ended up using. So again, on the top, generated video, we move through our Photoshop, we land on the generated video as well. And now we've got this like really beautiful end tag, and we can cut this into social, do a few different things, add some more clever copy. And it's very convincing. Add the audio, add some VO, add the call to action. Like, this is ready for prime time.
A really simple but powerful technique that this agency had decided to pursue. And it was, to me, the best example of how to use AI in a real world scenario to get something done for a high-end client that's also trying to do it in a way that's empowering AI as a tool rather than taking it away. Some of the creative talent that is just collected at Adobe MAX that's walking around, and you get to talk to people that are just insanely active and trendy and just incredibly sharp, creative problem solvers. It's really just an amazing opportunity to talk to people that are like-minded and just so far ahead. Just the upper echelon of creative talent is just walking around, and you can just talk to them, and they're so nice, they're so humble. Aaron Draplin was there. He took my phone and started taking photos of everybody around him, and I got to talk with him for a little bit, and we actually talked on his birthday. An amazing designer, incredible talent, distilled into very simple designs with excellent color theory. One class was from Say Adams, just talking about graffiti and hip hop and how he ended up being the creative director for Def Jam and did basically every hip-hop album that you could ever imagine because he's been doing it for the last 40 years.
And it started out with myself and my partner Steve Carr, and little by little we added on more and more designers and more illustrators, and over the years we ended up doing hundreds of album covers, not just for Def Jam and Bad Boy, but for a lot of the other major labels as well. This is taken by my friend Martha Cooper, and it's from 1981. And so at the time, I think I'm 19.
Incredibly insightful and incredibly full of wisdom, and something that I really get value out of. A wonderful time. I'm so honored to have gone to Max the last couple of years. And here's to hoping I can go to one more. $23 minutes. 23 minutes. Woof.